Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanath Swaminiti Namini. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmilitam Mena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandegam Sri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sakagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarvyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaye Vacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Isvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadi Radhir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Hare Krishna. By the causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, we are nicely studying Bhagavad Gita. So we finished 19 slokas in the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the three modes of material nature. In this chapter now we are studying how these three modes of material nature are controlling us, how they are, first of all, how they are produced. We understood that very, very clearly. It all depends upon our mind, especially the mode of passion. And the mode of ignorance, basically ignorance means not having the knowledge. So that's what it is known as the mode of ignorance, tamo guna. So it is, that means we have no knowledge. So the ajnana. So ajnana means ignorance, not having the knowledge. So that means not having the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Jnana means, this Krishna taught us very clearly in the 13th chapter. We studied in the sloka number 8 to 12. In those 5 slokas, Krishna gave us all the complete details about what it means by knowledge. So we studied that at length. So everything fits in there. Those slokas, they are knowledge. Otherwise, it is ajnana, ignorance. There is no knowledge. So, amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, shantir, arjavam, acharyopasanam, saucham, stairyam, atma vinigraha, indriyarteshu vairagyam, anahankara evacha, janma mrityu, jara, vyadi, dukkha doshanu darsanam, asakti anavisvangaga putradara grihadishu, nityam cha samachittatvam, Ishtanishtopapattisu Maichananya Yogena Bhaktir Avyabhicharini Vivikta Desha Sevitvam Aratir Jana Samsati Adhyatma Jnana with Nityatvam Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam Yetat Jnanam Iti Proktam Ajnanam Yatato Anyata. We studied this sloka, if you remember, in the 13th chapter, in the sloka number 8 to 12. So if we are not having this, if we are not fitting into these categories, whatever Krishna is teaching us, so that means we are in the mode of ignorance. So that's what we need to understand. And at the same time, if we are actually attached too much to the material sense objects, So then we will become controlled by, we will get controlled by the mode of passion, the Rajoguna. So humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, all these things are all qualities which we can achieve. It's not hard. If we just study Bhagavad Gita, if we become a devotee of Krishna, if we just follow what Krishna is teaching us in Bhagavad Gita, then these qualities will come to us. We will gain these qualities. There are no problem, no doubts about it. There is humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, acharya upasanam, then saucham, cleanliness, steadiness, stairyam, then self-control, atma vinigraha, renunciation of the objects of sense gratification, indriyarteshu vairagyam. That's what indriyarteshu vairagya means, renunciation of the objects of sense gratification. Absence of false ego, anahankara, anahankara yevacha. That's what Krishna is asking us to free ourselves. That's what we are studying in the 14th chapter also about the three modes of material nature. When everything is done by, everything is carried out by the three modes of nature, and when we think that I am the doer, so that means we have ahankara. So anahankara yevacha. So that's what freedom from, that is renunciation of absence of false ego, then perception of the evil of birth, old age, disease, and death. Birth, death, old age, and disease. Janma, mrityu, jara, dukkai. Then detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest. So asakti means detachment. Anabhiswangaga putra dara grihadisu. So freedom from, so detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest. Even-mindedness, so nityam cha samachittatvam ishtanishtopapattisu. So even-mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events. That's what nityam cha samachittatvam ishtanishtopapattisu. Ishtanishto, so means pleasant and unpleasant events. Then Maichananya yogena bhaktir avyabhicharin, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place. That is Vivikta Desha Sevitvam, aspiring to live in a solitary place. Aratir Jana Samsati. So detachment from the general mass of people. That's what the devotees should do. If we do like that, then automatically this coronavirus will stop. We don't have to worry. In general, what is happening in this material world? We are too much entangled. We are too much attached to everything in this material world. We are doing a lot of work, everything. Always people are assembling together and talking all kinds of useless things. And only we are wasting our time. So Krishna is teaching us that if you want to come to me, just get detached from everyone. Detachment from the general mass of people. That's what Krishna is teaching us. So aspiring to live in a solitary place. So Vivikta Desha Sevitvam Aratir Jana Samsadi. So if you want to grow in Krishna consciousness, if you want to detach ourselves from this material world, we need to detach from all kinds of materialistic activities. Only need, if we need to go into the mass, go into the people, it's only to spread Krishna consciousness, to teach Bhagavad Gita. For that reason only we should go. But we ourselves should not become a victim. So that's what is very important. If we get ourselves too much entangled in this material world, it's very difficult for us to, that means Krishna is saying that there is ignorance, there is not knowledge. So Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. So accepting the importance of self-realization, philosophical search of the absolute truth, all these I declare to be knowledge, and besides this, whatever there may be is ignorance. That's what Krishna is teaching. So now we understand this is knowledge. We already studied. And anything other than this is ignorance. So that means we are in the mode of tamoguna. If we don't fit into any of these categories, if we are not gaining all of them, so that means we will be controlled by tamoguna, the mode of ignorance. So this Bhagavad Gita is the knowledge. Idam jnanam. That's what Krishna said there. This is knowledge. In the same 14th chapter, second shloka, Krishna used the word idam jnanam. So this is the knowledge. Idam jnanam upashitya mama sadharmya magata. Many times I quoted this shloka. Many times. The 14th chapter, second shloka. Just by taking shelter unto this knowledge, one can attain my nature. Mama sadharmya magata. So this is knowledge. If we don't have this knowledge, we are under ignorance. So that way, the soul, we are the soul. We are not the body. We are the soul. We should get this knowledge. So the knowledge is gained by whom? The soul. That's what we need to do. So we are having this knowledge. Of course, it's getting stored in our memory, in our brain. So in our brain, there is a storage area. So that part is known as hippocampus. So where all our memory is stored, like a computer. When you write something to the computer, when you type something and save something, it's getting stored in a memory. So like that, when you see something, that means you are getting that memory that is getting stored in our hippocampus, in our brain. So when you listen, when you hear something, so that voice, that sound, so that gets stored. So like that, everything is getting stored in our brain, like what we are saving, we are storing in the computer. And the problem is that we don't even have to delete it. We will forget. Forgetfulness is a major problem. So sometimes when you want to recollect, like a bed, earlier we used to use floppy disks and other things, you won't even read. So like that, when we want to read, it is very difficult. So here we need to understand this. Our brain is like exactly like a computer. Everything is stored. Everything is we are reading, and whenever we want to access, we are accessing it and we are using it. So this is what is knowledge. So now we are getting this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and we need to keep accessing this knowledge. We need to store this knowledge in our brain, all these slokas, whatever Krishna is teaching us, and we need to access this. So accessing that knowledge, that means remembrance. So remembrance, we need to remember that. We should not forget. Of course, we have accessed so many knowledge which is not needed. We have stored so much of knowledge about this material world which are not needed to us. They are all stored in our brain. The capacity of our brain, the hippocampus, is so much. You can keep increasing the storage, like we like terabytes. Like earlier, we used to start with kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes, all such things. So the capacity for us to store in our brain is so much. It just increases. So there is so much of space is already there. So it is so much we can store, and for us to recollect that, so remember that, and without forgetting that, all these things we need to understand. Krishna's mercy is needed. Only Krishna staying in our heart as a super soul. He is only giving us that remembrance. He is only giving us that knowledge. He is only storing this knowledge in our brain. And Krishna is also giving us the forgetfulness. We need to understand. So there is not any other science like that. If you remember something, it's everything is coming from Krishna. We need to understand. So for that, of course, our brain has to work very well. We need to have a good sleep. We should eat good food. All these things already Krishna is teaching us. One should not eat too much. One should not eat too less. One should not sleep too much. One should not sleep too little. All these things Krishna is teaching us. So that way, this is our body is a machine. It's a yantra. So our body is a machine, and we need to use this machine very effectively. So any machine, if we don't properly maintain, so it will break down very quickly. Any machine. For example, if you buy a nice car, and if you don't take it for maintenance, if you don't do oil change, if you don't take care of it, then it will fail. Then it won't move. Then it will be stuck. We will be having problem. So like that, our body is a machine. So which is of course made up of matter only, bones, all kinds of flesh and cells and everything. So it has to be properly maintained. So the good thing is that our body itself is having that maintenance mechanisms. It's every day it maintains. Our brain maintains everything every day when we sleep. So it maintains. So it overhauls, it maintains. So that way, we need to sleep enough. That's the thing. If you don't sleep enough, if you don't give enough sleep to our body, then our brain cannot function properly. So like this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is very important, which we are gaining. So we need to now store this knowledge in our brain. That's what is very important. We need to study this Bhagavad Gita, understand these slokas, and then we need to store this knowledge, and we should be able to read it whenever it is needed. So we should be able to spread this message. And if this knowledge, then we will gain all these qualities. So that means the mode of ignorance will be gone. when we are, whatever efforts we are putting now, every day we are studying Bhagavad Gita. The devotees who are coming together and studying Bhagavad Gita every day and making good progress every day, it's not ordinary thing. It's not at all ordinary thing, because we are very much committed to spend time every day to progress ourselves in this great effort of studying and understanding Bhagavad Gita. So then with this knowledge, by Krishna's mercy, if we store this knowledge fully, then all these qualities, whatever I listed from the 8th sloka to 12th sloka in the 13th chapter, we will gain. We'll gain all these qualities. By Krishna's mercy, everything will be gained. So that way, we will be able to go to Krishna's well very quickly. So that's how we need to use this human life. It's very important for us to make use of this life in this way, so that we won't miss the opportunity. This is a very important opportunity for us. So that way, if we study this Bhagavad Gita, so it's a very practical thing. What we are trying to do every day, it's a very practical process in our life. If we study Bhagavad Gita, understand Bhagavad Gita, and follow Bhagavad Gita, and storing all this knowledge in our brain, and then spreading this message. So this is very, very important, because we are able to understand that how the three modes of material nature are controlling us. When we are attached to material sense objects, then we are forced to act in this material world by these three modes of material nature, because only these three modes of material nature are forcing us to act. So we are letting these modes of nature to control us voluntarily ourselves, because of ignorance, because of our attachment to this material sense objects. So now if we make sincere efforts, so here we have to understand that this is our desire. So the soul only can desire. So if we desire to actually free ourselves from this well, ourselves from this material well, so that means if we get this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, that this material world is actually a dukkhalayam, it's a miserable place. So it's a temporary miserable place. If we get that knowledge, so then our yantra, our machine, our body, when it is working, so we need to make use of it, and then we need to make progress towards Krishna. And many, many times I mentioned in the past, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, in the 6th chapter, whatever progress we make, spiritual progress we make, that's going to stay permanent with us, because that is attached to the soul, that is not attached to the body. Because this knowledge, this whatever spiritual progress we make with our faith towards Krishna, so everything is actually, because what is going to happen is that mind is a part of our subtle body. So that mind is not going to die. When we die, the mind is not, we are not going to lose our mind. The mind is going to be with us. It is going to come to the next life also. So the mind is helping us to connect ourselves with Krishna, to go to Krishna as well. So that way, whatever progress we are making spiritually, that is there in our mind actually. Because when we are controlling our mind with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, so whatever effort we put in and whatever progress we made in controlling our mind, so that progress is going to stay with us in our next life. We are not going to lose it. So that way, this life should be utilized to control our mind, to shape our mind, to tune our mind towards Krishna. That's what is very important. If we do that, so then we are actually making use of this life very, very nicely. So that means we need to actually practice to detach ourselves from this material world, from the material sense objects, because our mind, when it is attached to material sense objects, that's going to bring back again to this temporary miserable world. So it's all depends upon what our mind thinks at the time of death. That is very clear. In the 8th chapter, we already studied. So whatever our mind is going to think about it or remember it, that we are going to get when we die. So that's what we are going to get. So we need to focus fully about focusing. We need to focus fully about controlling our mind. That's what is very important. We need to shape our mind with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. That's why in the 6th chapter, Krishna is teaching us about how to control our mind. We need to focus our mind on Krishna. We need to think about Krishna, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then we need to serve Krishna and always remember Krishna. So that way, if we actually all the time fix our mind on Krishna, so then whatever progress we are going to make in this life, that's going to stay with us. So next life, we are going to get the same mind. That mind is going to be with us. The same mind is with us. So we'll go to Krishna. So that way we'll make progress. So this makes our knowledge very, very easy. We are understanding it by Krishna's mercy. So we just have to control our mind with the Bhagavad Gita knowledge. Once the mind is controlled, that will become our best friend. So that way in the 6th chapter, in the 14th chapter, what we studied in the sloka yesterday, Krishna taught us very clearly that Nanyam gunebhyah kartaram yatha drashtan pasyati gunebhyascha param veti madbhavam sodhigachati. One who is able to see that nothing other than 3 modes of material nature are doing everything. Nanyam gunebhyah kartaram yatha drashtan pasyati. He will be able to free himself from the gunas. Gunebhyascha param veti madbhavam sodhigachati. So we will be able to free from the gunas and attains my nature. That's what Krishna is teaching us. So we need to get that knowledge, get this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and we need to understand that everything is only the 3 modes of material nature are doing. So nothing other than the modes of nature is doing everything. So that knowledge we need to get, which we are getting. Now in the next sloka, very important sloka, the 14th chapter, sloka number 20, Krishna is continuing, Krishna is teaching us that गुणान्येतानतीत्यत्रीन् देहि देह समुद्भवान् जन्म मृत्यु जरा दुःखैः विमुक्तो अमृतमश्नुते. Gunanyetan atitya trin. So all these gunas, gunanyetan means all these gunas, all these modes of nature. Atitya means if we are able to free ourselves from this three, all these 3 gunas, these 3 gunas. So three in Sanskrit and 3 in English, they are both same. So 3. So one who is able to transcend all these 3 modes of nature. So that's what gunanyetan atitya trin. Dehi deha samudbhava. So we are studying in the 14th chapter, 20th sloka. Krishna is teaching us that dehi deha samudbhava. So dehi means the soul. So deha samudbhava. Deha samudbhava means which are produced by the body. So because of this deha is the body. So samudbhava. So what is produced by the body? Janma, mrityu, jara, dukkhair. These are all produced by the body. Birth, death, old age, and distress, dukkha. So we studied, just like I was quoting the sloka, like 8th to 12th sloka in the 13th chapter. There Krishna said that Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, Dukkha, Dosanu, Darshanam. Here Krishna, the 4th one, Krishna is saying instead of Vyadi, he is saying that Dukkha. So both are same. Vyadi or Dukkha. Vyadi means disease. Dukkha means distress. So when we get disease, we are getting distressed. So Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Dukkha, Vimukto Amritam Ashnute. So we will be freed. Vimukto means we will be freed. Amritam Ashnute. We will attain the permanent life. So blissful life, permanent life. Amritam Ashnute. So what should be the goal of our life? To free ourselves from these modes of nature. When we free ourselves from the modes of nature, we are going to go to Krishna as well. We are going to get a permanent blissful life in Krishna as well. So how we can free from the 3 modes of material nature? In the previous sloka we studied. So we should be able to see that nothing other than the 3 modes of material nature are doing everything. And we are going to study in the coming slokas also. Krishna is going to teach us very clearly that only by rendering devotional service unto Krishna, we will be able to free ourselves from the 3 modes of nature. So that way, Dega samudbhava janma mrityu jara dukkaihi vimukto amritam ashnute. When that is going to happen? Only when we are freed from the three modes of nature. So our problems are dukkha doshanu tarsharam. Our real problems in this life are actually janma mrityu jara vyadi or janma mrityu jara dukkaihi. They are our real problems. And we need to solve these problems. That's what is very important. We are trying to solve so many other problems. They are all useless. We need to solve this problem. If we solve these problems, how we can solve these problems? Only by freeing ourselves from the three modes of material nature. Then only we are freed from the Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi. Janma Mrityu Jara Dukkhi. And how we can free ourselves from the three modes of material nature? By rendering devotional service unto Krishna. So that means by developing bhakti towards Krishna. And how we are going to develop that bhakti? We are going to develop that bhakti only with this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So that's why this knowledge is very important. By Krishna's mercy, we are making great progress every day. We are studying Bhagavad Gita and understanding. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, we have successfully finished the 20th sloka in the 14th chapter. So now let us make that progress. Let us chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And actually, this is a very important progress. So whatever progress we are going to make, it's going to stay with us because we are shaping our mind. We are fine tuning our mind. We are remembering Krishna. So this practice is very, very important in our life. So let us chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra now. And let's focus on the transcendental sound vibration. That's what is very important. When we chant Hare